I'm excited for this one. I'm trying to think of anything. I have listened to some of the Santana record.
We'll talk about it on the pod.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Then let's rock and roll.
Ghost facers! We're facing ghosts! We're others, we're not, we're ghosts! Ghost facers! Stay in the kitchen when the kitchen gets hot! Ghost facers! We're facing nightmare, we're facing dread! Ghost facers! We're facing faceless, we're facing dead!
Welcome to Ghost Facers. Today we're discussing Season 9, Episode number 1. And you know what that means? I think I'm going to like it here because we're joined by Kyle Clark.
Hello, everybody. I'm back after forcing myself into the show as a running bit.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's the most
I'm going to tell my
I've
kids.
ever weaseled my way into a show, and I
Really
enjoy it.
You know how much we all love a bit.
This is maybe my favorite bit that we've got.
Finding a weakness that is the only thing I can exploit in another human being.
Yeah, it's called
if you're
success.
bit sensitive.
Let's do a podcast about it. So sorry, you mentioned this right before we started, and I wanted to pause you because I whatever, the episode we'll get to it, but
Sure.
You messaged me the other day and we're like, hey, can we do an extra special Ghost Facers episode about the album from Santana, Supernatural?
Yes, I've wanted to talk about this for so long.
And this is
That rules, Reed. I'm really excited right now.
That album was huge for me when it came out. It was enormous. Are we doing this now?
no. We'll do an
okay.
episode.
Because I was,
I've got
because I was
thoughts.
going to say I've been listening, but I would say that I would prepare a great deal more because I also Reed.
Okay.
Can I throw something to you as a bit of a game that I was
Please.
entertaining for it? Not that I was again continuing ways to poison your show. Reed, what if we sort of like for each song, sort of like think about how it makes us feel or what it makes us think about in context of Supernatural?
Right, sure. So you
Does
mean
any
like the
song
thing
have a
the
vibe?
thing I've been doing since the album came out.
Yes.
Yeah, but not regards to the show.
No, but like I think in my soul I know what it means.
This is going to be good. I'm pretty excited right now.
So yeah,
'Cause
so subscribe to the Bunker Report.
Absolutely.
Can I just say my favorite song on that album is the one with Dave Matthews?
It's pretty good.
It's
I'm gonna
so
be
good.
honest with you. I was ready to be a jerk, and instead it was like, "This has got look."
Is it just like
No,
You
it's
have
his
no
deep
idea.
voice. It's the fucking crush
Yeah.
me voice.
Whoa!
It's like sultry Dave Matthews.
Yeah,
Whoa.
It's Dave
Singing
Matthews
stuff.
before he dumped all his shit on that boat in Chicago.
True. Chronologically accurate.
Just like the ocean under the...
They're all smooth. Every song is smooth.
What's crazy is like it does not open with smooth, which is immediately both jarring and I appreciated
It's the wrong
level
choice.
of confidence on this album. I beg to differ. That opening track slaps
Huge.
because you know what they
Huge.
open with? Not the
I
sound.
hate
of
that this is what's happening right now.
Yeah, get
I'm
out of
just
here.
saying, there's way more Santana guitar than I was expecting on it, and I forgot. Hot take, that guy's pretty good.
Yeah, we're
I like that we're coming in
I-
harassing
Yeah,
Richard
I'm
this
super
episode.
hot.
I love that the takeaway is that Santana is
Pretty good on guitar. Hell yeah, he
I
is.
think he'd agree.
I mean, yes, we'll get to this at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah. But we
100%.
we can't sit on this. But
Reed,
I'm
I'm
glad.
not saying that we buy Richard a Santana branded purse, but like, you guys have a Patreon.
I'll admit that I've never listened to that album besides Smooth.
Well, you're about to get the album cover tattooed on
You
your
didn't
back.
even hear
if
Maria
we
Maria.
get to 100 subscribers
Wait, well, hold on.
on the Ghost Facers Patreon, Richard will get the album art from Santana's
Also,
Supernatural.
we now have a
tattooed
free
on his
tier
back.
on the Patreon.
We're also not that far from that.
Yeah, well, you know, I want it to happen.
I don't like this.
I agreed to model a fake back tattoo for someone today, or offered at least.
I like that.
So you could
what
fake
was-
trans fan me.
Upper or lower back? Yeah,
Lower back.
nice.
We got to go where it's
I already
funny.
assume
Upper
that's where
back-
you have slow ride.
upper back is where I just have slow ride. Lower back is where it says like as above, so below.
As it is in heaven, so is my ass.
But it is written
yeah.
in neon pink font.
Hey, speaking of heaven,
and hell.
call this season Gerard Butler because Angel has fallen.
Jesus.
How long have you been holding
Well
on to that?
done.
Since like 3:00.
Can I ask you a question? Did you stop working after that entirely? Did you just say, Daddy's done for the day?
Obviously, I had spent all my brain energy on that amazing angel has fallen line.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
I mean, you did the right thing.
Okay, so let's talk about this episode.
Good luck following that up.
This episode aired October 8th, 2013.
Okay.
Written much like...
A spooky year.
Oh, 13.
13.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Much like the season finale of the previous season, this was also written by Jeremy Carver.
Right.
And directed by John F. Showalter.
Yep.
Yep. And viewed by an estimated
2.4?
2.59 million
Whoa,
viewers.
nice. We're holding strong.
Yeah. We're doing
There were some
good.
thin years there.
Yeah. But we're near the threes most of the time.
That's pretty
right?
good. Yeah.
Yeah. 2.3s, 2.4s. We're doing pretty good. I'm excited to see what the next season has to offer in regards to viewers. But we should watch the promo. Now, Kyle, I sent it to you. I don't know if you had watched it yet, but
I did.
we're going to quickly watch it here because
All right, here we go.
Reed hasn't seen it yet.
Oh, hell yeah.
Though only like half that's from this actual episode.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, all the Abaddon stuff's obviously not. But I do love ending that promo with death.
Death, yeah.
Solid hook for Supernatural
I think
fans.
this is the first time Kyle's singing Death.
He was in a thing I've seen.
Was he?
possibly in a
Oh,
clip.
okay.
I've seen.
Or he's at least been in like a
Yeah.
then.
Sure.
Probably, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
This
Um,
actually lends itself to my first observation, if I may.
Please.
Are all of the season premieres somebody is dead until they're not? Because this is my fourth of that.
I mean, it's probably more than it's not.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm excited to talk about this one because I would say this is probably the one I've been coolest on of any of them.
Okay.
Interesting.
It felt very slight. And
Yeah, I could see that.
it felt a little bit it was interesting. This is the first time it was interesting to know how many seasons are left, because this
Sure.
is the first time I've felt the show feeling tired.
Which is funny because
That's interesting because this is the show picking up.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
But I mean, although I will say, admittedly, even in the slower seasons, they've done an okay job with the season premieres.
Yeah.
Like Leviathan season has like a solid
because you liked
premiere.
that last
I
season
did.
premiere a bit.
This is
and
the first one that was also a not self-contained story to a certain extent. It was kind of close
Yeah.
to the season 2 premiere, which I was curious whether that was intentional or not.
Totally. And,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it was, but it's interesting because the beginning of the previous season is probably the biggest piece of shit this season that this show's ever thrown out.
Oh. So this is
Right
just
after
sort of
basically that
residual
premiere.
dump.
It was.
I just wanted to say that.
No, I thank you. No, it was a pile of shit. And then it got really good at the end.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious to see. I don't remember too much about the beginning of this season, but
I mean, and to be fair, like the season ends on this big event kind of thing, but in this season premiere, we don't see Metatron.
so you know what's
So
interesting?
we don't really pick up on it. So like for Kyle just bombing in to see this, I kind of get where he's at, because this episode almost feels like we're not talking about it in some ways.
You know what's crazy is that I assume this was always intended to be the first episode, because how could it not?
Right.
But technically, this is actually filmed second of the new season.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
So I don't know where that plays into, and I can't imagine this not being the premiere.
It would have to be, right?
I
But it is
imagine
weird
the
that it was
script
filmed second.
supervisor ran in, and whatever they had already shot, they were like, "We fucked up. We obviously can't do this. No one is dying," and then it doesn't in the first episode. But we can't do that in the second episode.
You're not
Otherwise,
wrong.
who's dying?
I mean, listen, you've got like 6 more of these, so let's not shit on the dying but not dying.
There's a lot more where that came
Oh
from.
yeah, don't worry.
We'll get into it. I'm excited.
But yeah, overall, it's a serviceable premiere, but it feels more like an episode premiere than a season premiere.
What do you mean? An episode premiere?
Like-
What does that
like-
mean?
Like the trailer for like a promo for an episode.
Oh, the promo. Yeah,
Ah.
sorry.
Yeah. rather than like your
Accurate.
actual like season
Yes,
premiere.
I agree.
It is sort of made out of like dramatic clips that don't totally hang together as a cohesive story.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. But enough of this episode that it feels like it's supposed to be for the episode.
But it's definitely not. But
yeah. Which means they probably haven't shot much.
yeah.
But before we talk about the episode, we got international titles.
Yeah.
Right.
So this episode shares its name, if you don't know, with the song from the musical Annie. Of obviously the same name. I think I'm gonna like it here.
Okay.
Oh.
She's talking about the orphanage.
Yeah.
I've never seen Annie, I realized recently.
Have you seen it live?
No. Because
Because it's a hard knock life.
no, but like, who wants to see a orphan story with a happy ending? That's not why I like Batman. It's like, I guess things are all working out for Brucey.
What if you find out this whole time Annie has had this whole like violent, brutal middle act where Annie's just like fucking people up and taking names?
Fuck yeah. You have failed this city.
Yeah. Yes, father, I shall become an Annie.
Yeah.
Shine the Chrysler building with your blood, asshole.
Where are the other drugs going?
Where are their names?
It's a hard knock punch for you.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
Nice.
Looks like we're rewriting Annie.
We did it.
So we've got 2 international titles
All right.
for this week's episode.
Germany and Hungary.
Germany and Hungary,
Okay,
baby.
who's first?
Germany.
Oh, the German title is Takes These Broken Wings.
And learn to fly. No.
Okay.
It's more about the ending of this episode.
Oh, wake up, Sam.
The German title for this episode is An Angel for Sam.
Sure. Yeah, that's kind of cute. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's nice.
Hungry.
Title is a handsome man of nobility has crawled inside of a man who wishes to die.
Subscribe.
Hell yeah. Okay, the Hungarian title. Is this the kind of Hungarian title where it could be any episode
Yep.
of Supernatural?
Yep.
Oh,
Probably one of the vaguest.
okay,
I
so
guess. So it's not dude's got angel bones.
That's too specific.
I think it's got to be like near death.
Near
Near death experience.
Too specific.
That's too specific. Hang on. Give me one more.
Oh Jesus.
Is it brothers?
No, it's not, brothers.
Okay. All right,
It's a good one.
hit me with the Hungarian
The
title.
Hungarian title for this episode,
Yeah,
premiere of season 9.
understood.
Very, after death, we're dealing with confronting the error of our ways and
Yeah.
wanting to end life.
Sure.
The title for the Hungarian title is I Think I'll Manage.
Hells yes.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I guess. Again, that could be any episode of Supernatural.
It's one of my favorite things that Hungary does. This episode, nope, I can't do the Hungarian accent.
No.
Just do
We
the
tried.
German one for both.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Honestly, that's what we mostly do.
Yeah.
Man, I think I'll manage. Cool, man. Yeah.
Featured music from this episode, Who Do You Love by George Thorogood and the Destroyers. Baby.
Mm-hmm.
Great fucking song. Not really in the episode, but still.
Yeah, and a lot cheaper than Bad to the Bone.
Bad.
Yeah.
Bad to the Sam. TV
Fuck
Guide describes
you.
this episode.
He's
as-
definitely Sam to the bone.
Oh,
But
fuck, you're right. God,
Yeah.
fuck. Sam collapses as season 9 begins, and Dean sends out an emergency plea via prayer to every angel in the area to help Sam. In exchange, Dean agrees to vow that angel a favor, but his request is answered by numerous angry angels who want to kill him. Meanwhile, Castiel
Wow.
struggles.
a classic TV guide.
Meanwhile, Castiel struggles to survive without his powers.
Yeah, I mean, somehow not giving everything away, but also describing the entire episode. Yeah.
Gotta love TV Guide. But before we describe every episode, every section of this episode, want to open up Dad's journal, talk about some of the real world lore.
Yeah,
maybe about angels falling.
Hey. Yeah, let's see what the lore says about Angel Has Fallen. The third in.
Yeah.
I kept trying to think of myself, like, is that the third one? They made a third one.
It is. And there's a movie podcast that I like called We Hate Movies, and they refer to those movies as the American Mike movies. They call Gerard Butler's character American Mike. It's
So
just
good.
him trying so hard to keep the accent.
Something about that accent that they can never get rid of it fully.
I mean, he's like Scottish too. It's even harder.
Yeah.
No, let's see what the lore says about
just invest in the
Ezekiel.
plane franchise, guys. You got to just be Scottish in that one, and that's
true.
its strength.
So good.
Yeah, let's see what the lore says about Ezekiel.
Whoa,
Baby. Ezekiel, not an angel at all. In the Bible, Ezekiel is the name,
which is crazy because of all of the fucking like bullshit like angel names we've gotten in the last season, like Danielle and
Samandriel. Yeah, which I occasionally think is Salamandriel.
That's cooler.
It is cooler, actually. Yeah, I'm pitching my like lizard angel series right now.
I'm listening.
Guaniel.
Fuck, that's good.
Tell me more about this lizard heaven.
All lizards go to heaven.
Yeah,
It's just a hot rock forever.
and all dogs go to Kevin.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so Ezekiel,
Kevin is the name
not
of the dog god.
not the name of an angel, the name of a prophet, and the name of like the book of Ezekiel from the Old Testament. And so in that, it describes Ezekiel as like basically Ezekiel claims that he's a prophet and that this happens around when he's 13 based on the timeline of things in there. And his prophecies have to do a lot with like the destruction of Jerusalem, the exile of the Jews, the return, the building of a new Jerusalem, all of these kind of things. There's like 4 to 6 prophecies in that book. What's interesting in that book is that it's where we see some of the stuff, you know, like when you go online and people are like, it's biblically accurate, whatever. And it's some sort of insane thing with rings and eyes.
Oh, yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Some of that's from the book of Ezekiel, where he describes seeing like seeing God or seeing like an angel accompanied by these wheels. He describes that are these like wheels covered in eyes, these sort of like swirling masses of something celestial, basically.
They do a good job in like the intro animations to that new show, the Has Been Hotel on Amazon. They do that for those drawings, and I think they're actually pretty decent. But
I have no what?
It was a web series that they got to make. They ended up making it into a TV show, but it's really good.
But like that's in there. The if you're a fan listening out there of Grant Morrison's JLA, there's a thing in the book of Ezekiel about this chariot being pulled by these beasts that have these different faces, and one has the face of a man, one has the face of a lion, one has the face of an ox, and one has the face of an eagle. And those are like the hosts of heaven in Morrison's JLA when we're doing heaven stuff over
Can
there.
we go all the way back to this begins with someone listening to a 13-year-old?
Yes, 100%.
It's like I understand that all of this rules because this is all written on a Babylonian child's binder.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, right next to that triangle S.
Yeah.
That, you know,
yeah. This is I did not realize a version of Spawn had snuck into the Bible.
God, I wish Spawn was in the Bible.
Can you imagine?
I mean,
Spawn would be so much cooler in the Bible.
Oh my god! Remember we saw the action figure thing yesterday?
Oh yeah, total diversion here, but like it really helps when you own your own toy company. Todd McFarlane just put out a Todd McFarlane toy for the 30th anniversary of Spawn.
Oh, now I have to go find that.
I know. Now I got to find a 7-inch Todd McFarlane toy.
Does it come with the baseballs? Like how deep is he going here?
He's wearing a Spawn t-shirt. He looks too happy though.
I wish they'd make him be in the black suit he wears in the intros to the HBO show where he just says a bunch of unintelligible fucking nonsense and then a pretty good cartoon plays.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
you just took me back to a time and place.
Totally.
They hit HBO at some point, and I started running through them and was fully unaware of the Todd McFarlane intros where he sits night gallery style in a suit in like a art
Totally
room.
forgot about that.
Box.
Weird.
And I think in my mind there is fake lightning, but there might not be.
I have such like a vivid image of that. Jesus Christ.
It'd be fun if like he walks a set over and it's where Jonathan Frakes is doing Beyond Belief and they're like neighbors.
Listen,
And then one more Dean Kane's in the Believe It or Not place.
one more distraction, and then I'm back to Ezekiel. I saw a video online of someone be like, if you just play the Jonathan Frakes like Fact or Fiction thing at half speed, he just sounds like a drunk guy at the bar.
Oh yeah,
Where it's just him going like, have you ever walked out of a mall and seen a like, he's just...
It's one of those great gifts that we did not know at the time that we were giving a gift to the future.
It's true. Speaking of gifts to the future, Ezekiel is also mentioned in like the Book of Revelation and stuff like that. In terms of like part of the apocalypse, it talks about like Gog and Magog and these sort of like enemies of the nation of Israel, sort of thing. Ezekiel's invoked there, but Ezekiel and his prophecies and his like prophetic ability and stuff like that is actually kind of like the source or the start or the inspiration or whatever you want to call it behind like some like rabbinic Judaism and some of like the more kind of like spiritual
Kind of mysticism
kind of sides of Judaism. A lot of that goes back to Ezekiel. So there you go. Fun
Also,
fact,
I
not an
believe
angel at all.
and a skateboard shoe company, I believe, as well.
Yeah. Well, that was his famous catchphrase, was scrumpaduchas.
all right.
Rumbaduchus.
He'd be like, hey, watch this. But then he would do a prophecy, not a Ollie.
He does a prophecy and a 1080.
Yeah. Well, he couldn't do a Christ Dare. It's Old Testament. But
It was called a TBD air.
Yeah.
your kids are going to love this.
Here comes Satan. He's doing a dark slide.
Oh, my God. Dark Slide?
Yeah.
I think we've got a cool pitch for DC now.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Dark Slide is sick.
Oh, you can have a BAM tube. It's just BAM Margera.
Hear me out. The Nargods. I know I'm on the wrong show for you guys, but like,
Okay, pin in this. We'll come back to it later.
I want a t-shirt that just says dark slide is, and on the back it just says rad. Holy shit. To today's episode.
All right.
We began, of course, like we always do, by taking a quick break. And we're back.
Wow, that was a cool break.
That was a good ad, and I bet it was about mental health.
Yeah, probably.
Sorry.
I mean, the way we're going.
Thanks, BetterHelp. We begin with the then.
Promo code I'm fine.
Yeah, I trust me. I read the rules today. We have to be very clear about taking this seriously.
Sure, fair. Well, we'll just cut all this out.
Yep. Begin with the then. Of course, we get a review of all of last season. Dean getting back from purgatory.
Right.
Weirdly, no mention of Amelia.
Yeah, because she sucked.
Yeah, and it was not the same.
She was the worst.
The demon tablet.
Best thing about Amelia is that a dog got hurt.
Jesus. So, of course, we find out about the demon tablet, which can close the gates to hell.
Right.
We get a new base. We got a base now.
The bunker, baby.
The fucking bunker. Kyle, you're going to love the bunker.
The
Good
bunker's
Lord.
great.
I wish you could have seen the bunker. The bunker's so much fun. Metatron shows up. I don't know if you saw who that actor was for the brief moment that he appeared on the screen.
I did
it's
not.
fucking Booger, baby.
Oh, that's who that was. Okay, because
Yeah.
I got real excited. Didn't understand the context. Love Booger.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's Metatron
He's
in this.
Metatron, the scribe of God.
And the big bad for this season.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is very, very cool twist at the end of last
the
season.
Bad guy.
Naomi, the well-meaning but terribly acted scribe or
not scribe.
she was guardian of heaven. I don't know. We got the angel tablet. We find out that not only can we close hell, we can close heaven.
Yeah.
Abaddon, the super hot knight of hell. We love her. We get Crowley, and we tried to convert Crowley to become a good guy.
Tried to make him mortal,
yeah.
Almost made him human again.
We sort of get him in this episode.
Human again.
We sort
Song
of
from Beauty and the Beast.
We sort of get him this episode,
Yeah.
but we'll get to it. And of course, Castiel, he loses his grace. He's no longer an angel, and along with all the other angels, stuck on Earth.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the end of last season. Everybody's on Earth now.
Crazy.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Oh my
The only
God.
way to find out is by getting to the now.
All right, let's do it.
So we're in the Impala at night. Sam expresses disbelief over the mass angel fall being mistaken for a meteor shower.
Which I like. What did he expect to happen? Like the world is like they have even been keeping monsters secret this whole time, and he's like, and then when all the angels fall, people just think it's fucking meteors. These sheeple. Like what did he think was gonna happen?
Yeah. Tune in this week to Sam's Sirius XM channel. Dean insists he's fine, but acknowledges the trouble they're facing with thousands of angels now on Earth. Sam points out that there are issues now extended beyond the angels to demons, Metatron, and Castiel's unknown fate.
Yeah.
And Dean shifts focus, revealing to Sam that he's currently dying due to unspecified events in the church.
Nothing's more important than you. I mean, essentially.
But we find out that maybe this isn't reality.
Yeah.
We then cut to the hospital during the day, and the scene shifts to Sam unconscious and hospitalized while Dean watches over.
Isn't that literally exactly how the season 2 premiere went, though? Where it's like, I'm in sort of a weird place. I don't understand this. I'm a person talking to you. You're dying.
Except it was Dean,
it very much is. I don't know how intentional it is, but
I mean, I don't think it's intentional in the way that, like, I don't think they're calling back to season 2, but it's like intentional in the way of like we're constantly in the veil between life and death.
Yes. A television in the room displays the news of the global meteor shower.
Yeah,
idiots. Actual footage of aliens angels falling.
Yeah.
And that's the cold open for the episode.
Yeah. Decent.
Descent
aigu even.
Oh my God. We then go back to the hospital room. Dean examines medical scans while Sam remains unconscious. The doctor details Sam's critical condition, massive internal burns, and severe brain oxygen deprivation leading to a coma.
Listen, in this scene, I'm with Dean. This doctor is like, I don't know, it's in God's hands now. Like, get another doctor.
Well, get one who's like, it's in my hands now.
I'm on the flip side where what the doctor is trying to say is, pull the plug, asshole. Like, your brother's insides are fucking roasted. Like this is like, you seem to have some sort of theory that some sort of God creature exists. You can make a deal with demons to bring him back. I, a medical science man, have done all I can do, and he's supposed to die now because he breathed all that fire.
No. I've watched 20 seasons of Grey's Anatomy. We can figure this out.
God, there's not that many seasons, is there?
There sure are.
Oh my God, 20?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Good,
Just
that's too many.
Why would you help Dean? He seems like feel like they'd almost be better off having just dumping his body at the emergency room instead of Dean going in with him, because I feel like it would kind of like grease the wheels a little bit.
It does feel like I get it because he cares about his brother, but it does feel like even the doctor has to like he's clearly given a fake name or whatever. It's like every time you set foot in the hospital, you're this close to getting fucking caught.
Yeah.
You know, like they've had the FBI after them before. They've had like the demons, all sorts of like
but
things.
At least they're a dick to almost everyone they meet.
Yeah.
I'm still with Dean here. If I heard a doctor say it's in God's hands, I'd get them fired.
That's because the doctor can't say fine, then fire me. Your brother is dead. Your brother is legally dead, and unless you have magic, which it doesn't exist, but I'm gonna say it because I don't believe it exists because it's the only thing I can say. You fake magic believing in fucking Drifter. like it's literally, to me, it's him going like, look, asshole, like no medical science is here to save you, so unless you have a deal with angels, go do that because your brother is legally dead by all medical standards.
It is funny from the outside of the Winchesters to be like, Dean does not look like a crystals guy, but he would absolutely just show up and be like just setting, like lighting candles and setting stuff up and be like, this guy believes in this.
Like you see him setting up crystals and you start handing them back going, you cannot trade these for my prescription medication.
Yeah. I do think it's very funny that every time Kyle comes on, he's more disdain for Dean and more appreciation of Sam, which is so the opposite of this show.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's just because
I mean,
everything Dean does is wrong.
Because there is some all-time great, and by that I mean hilarious, Sam acting in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. God, I just
maybe
especially Ezekiel Sam later, the way he walks, I was like cackling.
That's insane. Like, well, we can't be rushing to fucking that until the very end here. There is far too much ground still to cover.
I will say the face that he does make finally explains that weird cover art that I've seen forever of the show where he's doing that. I was like, oh, it's from this. Anyways, so, distraught, Dean leaves the room, passing a sign for the hospital chapel, signaling his desperation. Also, I love that fucking the focus change there into the that slide up with the focus change onto the church. I was like, that's a good shot. I really like.
Also, what the fuck kind of hospital is this? It's in God's hands. Oh, there's a church over here.
It's in God's hand, and he's right there.
Like,
I feel like that might be a Canadian thing because churches here have chapels in them. I mean, hospitals here have chapels in them.
We used to. We don't really anymore.
Hospitals have chapels in them?
Yeah, they used to.
I hate that.
All right, easy. Church and state, I know.
I hate that. God's forsaken you at that point.
Oh, wait.
Stop giving him credit.
Also, medical science is not state.
Oh, yeah.
True.
Fair.
And it's especially not state.
There's a lot of a lot of hospitals down here. Like our hospital is run through like an Adventist group, so it's like a weirdly like religious based hospital. They still treat stuff, but it's like
I did weirdly go to the college that I went to was a Christian college technically, but they like never really acknowledged it very often. But it was called St. Clair College, and it would only every once in a while come up, and you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, there were a couple of like religious colleges that are affiliated with my university,
which is very funny.
But that's like, that feels different. That's like you're going there because that's the community you want to be a part of when you're going to post-secondary or something. Feels different than like, we're a place of science, but also sometimes this.
I will say what was very funny
was a lot of like, your husband is going to die in 2 hours. You might as well go talk to God instead of laying in the parking lot.
Fine, give people solace, whatever.
I will say
socialized medicine changed you.
I will say what was funny was though I went to a Christian college, all their advertising was Canada's hottest college because technically we're the most southern college.
Oh,
but like, I was like, that's a real sexualization of a Christian college.
Yeah, what a weird thing for them.
Why did you go there then? Because I just assumed it was for that.
Oh, sorry. I thought he was burning you. Because like,
oh, no. I was implying that you were going as a handsome boy to a school full of semi-repressed, attractive ladies.
This is how you best friend.
No, I don't like it.
Reed, sometimes you gotta live vicarious.
I'll see you in April.
I think Kyle needs to be like 80% more aggressive if he wants to be a good best friend.
No. Look, best friend is an interesting position. More person who will eventually, ghostwrite Richard's memoir, good or bad.
I mean, the two of you are going to fight for that.
No, I'll write the foreword. I don't need to write the whole thing.
Yeah, that's nice work there. Yeah,
that's true. You'll have a heavy narrative in regards to the end. So
I'll even help you give you like a whiff. Like one of those ones where it's like, then there's like two people and they threw some bullshit in here. Like Reed's around.
I like that. That's good.
True. Yeah, you've been writing the story all along anyways.
Here's the picture of my shit I almost showed Richard.
Stop! Oh.
He was so earnestly upset.
Because he's tried to show it to me so long, and then his bargaining chip was, "I'll look at a photo of your dick."
This is from a different podcast.
This is from the
A
bad
thing
podcast.
I didn't
We can't be
want.
bringing this up. Reed, I need you to understand. I respect this game, and don't you give up.
So he goes into the church.
Yeah, right. Sure. Yeah.
Dean attempts to summon Castiel, expressing urgency over Sam's condition and willingness to reconcile the past grievances.
Yeah.
Unsuccessful.
I mean, I kind of like I do like a forgiving Dean, but this is also like I'm being forgiving because I need something.
I mean, that's his relationship with Castiel.
It totally is. Yeah.
So unsuccessful, Dean broadens his plea to any angel listening, and I fucking love this scene.
Yeah.
When he's just like, "All right, you motherfuckers, you want a piece of Dean?
Yeah.
You can have one. You got to save my brother first."
Yeah.
It's a cool fucking moment, and you just get all these people and like all these sleeper agents across America.
My favorite one is the guy on the tractor, like, here we go.
I'm gonna drive the tractor to there.
That's my favorite one.
It's a really straight story.
I do love that. Even just like Ezekiel getting on the bus, I was like, how far away is this bus?
It's not very badass because he gets off the bus and he's like, "No, I'll go," and he just gets back on the bus. You just gotta wait for another 30 minutes while they like gas up and shit before they.
I like the idea that he's like, "No, your ticket was to here.
Yeah,
like this isn't. You don't put change in anything. Like
you don't understand.
You got to go buy another ticket.
You don't understand. Now I need to go to Missouri or
we
somewhere.
Go back to where we came from. Like you're not going farther. This isn't like a cab." This isn't Greyhounds for hire.
Yeah, he charters it.
Yeah, keep the meter running.
Also, can we say, so we see Ezekiel there. We don't learn his name at this point, but the guy that gets off the bus, that's Ezekiel. Yeah. Can I just throw this out there and see how you guys feel about it? I feel like he's the TV version of Luke Evans.
Oh, I thought he was the TV version of that guy from 300.
Wait, which guy?
The narrator?
Oh, what, Faramir?
Yeah.
See, I think he looks a little bit and sounds a little bit like Luke Evans, but he's TV, like he's not quite handsome enough.
He's got that's well put. TV Chris Evans is definitely because it's that classic handsome, but in TV mode.
Yeah, because truly, the first time that I watched this, like years ago, I actually thought they got Luke Evans.
Really?
And I was like, man, how'd they land him? And then a couple episodes in, I was like, that's not Luke Evans.
I just thought it was the guy. I thought it was Faramir.
Oh, yeah. No, not at all.
That voice is so similar.
I know what you mean.
Anyways, we see this prayer being heard widespread throughout all of the fallen angels. We then go back.
It feels like in John Wick when
he
gets
absolutely
excommunicago and everyone's like, get John Wick. Like you see all these like agents
1000%.
everywhere. Yeah,
Conwick. So then back in the Impala in Sam's coma, Dean and Sam discuss the gravity of Sam's condition, revealing a complex internal struggle about fighting for life.
I like this scene where we kind of learn that Dean is just like a manifestation of a part of Sam's consciousness.
But because we've had this moment a lot of times in this show, and usually it's like, we got to figure out that it's a dream, and they're like, no, I'm a figment of your fucking imagination. Let's get past that part.
But my favorite part of this too is that it's also in character for Dean. Like it's not like Dean, but like speaking with Sam's voice. It's not just like the face of Dean, but speaking like
I feel
Sam.
like that's how you would do it.
Well, yeah, but Sam's like, so what? Like, how does this work? He's like, I don't know. Fuck if I know. Like, he's just like every reaction is so like just Dean. I kind of love it.
I feel like that's how you would imagine it, though, as a person acting like themselves.
Yeah, I think
because whenever I dream of somebody, it's like that version of them.
Well, yeah,
it's you eating a big pasta bowl.
That's a higher Patreon tier.
It's I mean, I guess you could also then imply that Dean is so toxic that he has pushed his own personality onto Sam.
All right, fucking slow your roll.
Feeling pushed by internal things that aren't his.
I mean, we deserve this because the amount of Sam hate we give throughout the season.
I was gonna say maybe Sam is just so bland of a character that other people's personalities naturally seep in by osmosis.
I need it to be understood that when I attack Dean, please don't confuse that with defending Sam.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad we're all on the same
I
page.
mean, I am not
Fair.
here to say that Sam makes good decisions.
No,
Okay.
he definitely doesn't.
like that's I have as many notes for Sam as I do for Dean.
Sam
Fair.
makes such bad decisions that they had to create Castiel.
Yeah.
Impressive.
So then we get to see Bobby. Bobby appears.
Yeah, it's nice to bring him back.
Yeah. I was so happy to see Bobby again.
Yeah, it's good.
And he's providing.
Does Kyle know that Bobby's dead?
I do
Oh, yeah.
from last
Okay.
season because he's
Yeah.
not in that run, but I think also appeared as a ghost in last season's premiere.
Yeah.
But okay, so there was a car alarm going on outside. I was worried it was coming through. I also think it's interesting that when he's in his car and he can imagine anyone he wants, it's like the two characters who would be most available to shoot for a Supernatural episode. Like we really wanted his dad to appear in the cartoon, but Walking Dead was off and going at that point.
We'll get there.
I mean,
So Bobby appears, providing counsel and raising philosophical questions about the fate and effort and acceptance of Sam's life.
I do like this like angel and devil thing. Where,
Yeah.
like, Dean's like, you can't die, and Bobby's like, I don't know, you've kind of earned it.
Yeah.
You know?
Which feels like, I don't know if
I kept waiting for Bobby to go like, do it. Look at me. I'm happy as hell.
Yeah. Yeah, you should kill yourself.
Yeah, do it, Sam. Bring the toaster into the bath.
Yeah.
Bring the-
The conversation delves into the brothers' history of defying death, highlighting the resistance and a stubborn hope. We then go to a forest road because Castiel, we get to see now, is just wandering around in Longmont, Colorado. During the
Wait a
day.
minute. I just thought of something.
What's that?
Fucking angels are raining onto Earth, and yet Dean is offended when this doctor implies there's a god.
So they're mad that they don't believe in the fact that angels are, but if they do, then
No, I think I'd be mad that this doctor is just like, I don't know, I give up.
But literally all he said is, do you have any options? You obviously know this thing that like I've brought this thing up that to me is just a phrase. Do you is what you should have done. What we're gonna do the whole time. Like
Get that doctor fired.
it'd be funnier if that doctor said, "Don't worry, we gave him the same thing we gave Michael Jackson.
Fuck.
He'll be fine."
Kyle doesn't know that story.
I know, but I do, and so it's funny. So
you
Castiel,
guys
now
kill somebody
human,
with Michael Jackson drugs.
maybe.
Don't look at each other coquettishly when I make that joke. Like, don't look like a couple with a secret when murder is on the line.
I do like that I
I'll
told
never tell.
I do like that I told
Oh,
you
yeah.
I was coming over here, and you were like, honestly, I thought that you guys were married and lived together.
I said sometimes I forget you're not married and don't live together. Not
I mean,
all
some-
the time. Just occasionally it merges into being a fact.
Sometimes I forget too.
If it makes you guys feel better, you're not the only internet-based thing where I just assume they're married. Shout out to Secret Galaxy, a great YouTube channel where I've decided the cameraman and the host are married.
Hell yeah.
I like it.
I like that. So Castiel now is human. The end of previous season, he got his angel shit taken out.
Yeah.
So now he's literally just a person.
He lost his mojo, Austin Powers 2 style.
That was
Yeah.
what I thought too. This
Yeah.
Castiel has no mojo now. Also, I've never really seen him do angel stuff, so to me, he had not really changed that much.
Fair. Reasonable.
That's fair. He's suddenly now experiencing vulnerability and confusion, barely avoiding a car accident.
He's also like Man of Steel, like barely able
Yes.
to walk through the fog of angel radio screams.
Yeah. His encounter with a helpful stranger underscores his newfound human limitations and his kindness of strangers.
Yeah, I like this like kind stranger. It's nice to see like an example of nice humanity, especially because angels are awful.
Well, yeah, but also this show has made me not trust anyone. So the whole time, because I didn't remember what happened, I was like, what's he gonna do?
Totally.
What's he gonna do?
But it's also like
He's like,
wholesome.
hey, nobody rides for free, Castiel.
That's the
Yeah.
Richard rewrite version.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
More like Astiel, am I right? Cashtiel, Gastiel, or Astiel.
Grastiel, yeah. I do like the idea of Grastiel.
Well, I mean, we see Grastiel.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Then Castiel meets another angel.
The way I
Hale.
do this show makes Castiel feel like the most like the friend of your friends that they love to talk about who's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. He's the
like,
one you have stories about.
He's very rarely active in a premiere, and so like to me he's a guy in a jacket, but it's always so funny because you're like classic Castia, and then you just say some crazy shit he did, and it's really I've never met Mark when he's in wild man mode, I guess.
Yeah, is it a problem that I want Mark to relapse?
Just because I hear
just heard all these cold stories.
I mean, that's very funny.
Like, I don't want him to, but I want to be there if he does.
Yeah. I just want to be opportunistic about it.
Yeah. We've all got that friend.
I'll keep an eye on him.
So, Hale?
Hale.
Yeah. She's fine.
She's an angel. She's kind of hot.
Cute.
Kind of. She's like a Wish.com Annie Edison.
You're fucking killing these today. Like,
Thank you. Thank you.
Like a sniper.
It's upsetting.
Since 3 o'clock, I've been like just loaded that chamber.
Yeah, well, maybe just more recently. Introducing themes of identity and belonging in a post-fall world. Back in the hospital, a grief counselor approaches Dean, suggesting preparation for Sam's inevitable death, which Dean rejects. Dean then heads to his tunk.
Yeah. Look in the tunk.
Yeah.
Crowley's in there. I love that we were like, we should mention Crowley because, like, where did he end up after the season finale? But it's like we don't have Mark Shepard that day.
So he knocks on the roof of the trunk.
I do enjoy that. I think
is that for real?
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So he does knock on the trunk.
Yeah, it's good.
And he was about to open it, and that's when he gets attacked by the family man angel.
Yeah, I mean, whatever this guy's name is.
Aggressive angel.
Some regular name with EL at the end.
Yeah, Steve EL.
Greg EL.
Yeah.
So is that the angel thing? It's everything EL?
Well, no, but it's just they really started stretching.
A lot of them have. I mean, not all of them, because there's like Zachariah is different.
Yeah.
Naomi is different, but there's like Uriel, Castiel, Samandriel.
But the problem was at the end of last season, they were doing a lot of angel shit and started running out of actual Bible names, and so you could tell that they were like, I don't know,
Steve,
Stevie and Drawn.
Yeah.
The angel NutraSweet.
So
that's good.
Dean's confronted by this aggressive angel demanding Castiel's whereabouts. A tall man, later identified as Ezekiel, intervenes, advocating for compassion over wrath.
Yeah.
And I do like that he's like, which one are you? I don't remember Ezekiel. What? Like, Dean's quick thinking and Ezekiel's intervention lead to the aggressive angel's demise.
Yeah, it's good. Ezekiel fights him for a bit, but is sort of overpowered. But then, Dean Angelblade stabs Gregiel.
Yeah.
And fucking kills him.
We then go back to that gas station with Castiel and Hale discussing the experience of falling and their loss of grace. Well, but do all the angels lose their grace, or is it just Castiel that loses his grace?
The other angels still have angel powers. Like,
sure,
they can heal. They can do They just can't like fly because they don't have their wings anymore, and they can't get into heaven.
Is that sure though? Because they get in the accident later, and she can't heal herself.
Yeah, good question. But like Ezekiel, clearly, he attempts it from the outside.
Yeah.
Like and even Cass, he knows he doesn't have wings. He says it to truck guy. But when he gets to the gas station, he goes up to that biker. He tries to use angel powers because he's not used to not having his grace. So I think generally they have angel powers.
Or
that was sort of how I took it. That they all have but they're sort of like they're all like recessed memories now. Like you're like sleeper agents.
Yeah, there's something like that, or like, but also when angels beat the shit out of each other, like even in past seasons, they don't just heal themselves. If Uriel was beating the shit out of Cass wouldn't just be like healed, bam. And The damage they inflict on each other is different too. Like,
what was the advantage of closing both heaven and hell, and why did that seem like a good idea?
So it started with the boys want to close hell. They learned that if you complete these trials, the gates of hell.
But don't we need a hell?
Well,
no. So
we're pretty sure it works that the souls of people would still go to their respective places, but demons wouldn't be able to get out anymore.
Okay.
And
Because
same
it
thing
seems
for
like,
heaven.
to me, it seems like it's like slowly becoming two boys who just want a planet full of ghosts.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
Yeah, think of all the shit we could kill, Sam.
Yeah. So
We could send them all to the void.
they failed closing hell, and they actually failed closing heaven, because what happened was they didn't actually close heaven. There was another spell that was happening.
Yeah.
that instead
Metatron tricked Castiel, and instead of closing heaven, he actually like expelled all the angels a la Lucifer.
Yes. And so there's just angels aren't in heaven except for him.
Yeah.
And so it's different than closing the gates. He just got rid of the angels and took away their powers and shit.
Yeah.
So
Fucking that's why he's the leader of the Decepticons.
that's true. Castiel offers a perspective of hope and opportunity on Earth, contrasting the rigid hierarchy of heaven, suggesting the chance for angels to find their own purpose now.
I mean, the tragedy of Castiel is that he both has incredible insight and compassion, and he's also just so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
He's like so easily manipulated.
He's
It's
not
just like
my
a-
favorite in my pieces of him. Like, he's one of those, again, he's got to be a real mid-season heater.
He's a real my dog, honestly.
Cool, man.
It's just like dumb and like constantly making mistakes, but also terrified of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dog's real fucking dumb.
Well, yeah, and Cass keeps
Leave that
pissing
angel
himself.
No,
Like
Cass
he's a
keeps
saint.
pissing on my bed.
Yeah. It's a higher Patreon tier.
You keep saying that. Put up or shut up. The conversation shifts towards personal desires, with Hale expressing a wish to maybe see an early creation of hers.
Yeah. I made a canyon.
A Grand Canyon.
I'm like, all right, man. Like,
Is there anything like that on Earth?
yeah. It's like, hey, are you traveling with anyone? No, solo. All right, Han Solo.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Remember when they did that and we're like, good call, let's keep filming?
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is going to be a good movie.
Yeah, we did it.
The movie about the making of Solo will be better than the movie Solo.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, that mountain you're carving over there, could you hurry up? Could you maybe rush more?
Mount.
Fuck, we're on fire tonight. So back at the garage where Ezekiel and Dean are discussing the predicament of angels on Earth and the potential for cooperation, with Ezekiel affirming his belief in their mission and the willingness to help Sam.
Yeah, and like to your point, we're so conditioned not to trust on this show that as soon as he's like, some angels haven't forgotten their mission, I'm like, fuck, no, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I kind of trust the angels that are more overtly violent.
Yep.
I know what they want.
Back in the Coma
Hurt you,
Forest,
Angels.
Bobby advises Sam to let go of his instinct to fight death. This is the real you, Bobby.
Oh man, this is my kind of Bobby.
Yeah,
And
just
Nihilist
fucking let
Bobby is
go.
a fascinating thing.
Yeah, run a warm bath. Let the darkness take you.
Remember, down the street, not across.
Just do it, Sam. Why not?
Yeah.
Again, I kept waiting for go. Look, I'm dead and I'm happy as hell.
I mean, truly, yeah.
God, if Bobby beckoned me to the afterlife, I'd be like, I'm already there, man.
I'm
Like,
sorry, Bobby. If your worst enemy told you to do that, you'd do it.
What? Yeah.
You need a light breeze, not a push.
Yeah, true.
We're teetering on the edge on a good day.
Yeah, I don't know if it's teetering. I'm just like very open to the idea.
It'd
It'd be so much easier.
Bobby advises him to let go,
Than
presenting
this.
presenting
What'd be
dying
so
as an
funny,
opportunity
though, is
to.
that then they bring you back and you're just like, oh God, because this is in fact hell and you can never die.
So here's the thing. So this Bobby moment where Bobby's like, go, it's everything you need. You deserve this, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, I get it. I'm on board. But then like 2 scenes from now when Sam is like, I'll go if I can never be brought back. I was like, you're talking my language, Sam. That's my fucking jam. That's the shit right there.
I'll admit, he almost got me when he presented dying as an opportunity to leave a legacy.
Wow. I don't even need that.
I have done so much better in therapy in the last 18 months than you guys. Like, man, that felt great right there. Oh.
Time for an ad for better. So Ezekiel attempts to heal Sam, underscores the limitations and uncertainties facing the Angels post-fall.
Right.
While Dean's conversation with Castiel reveals the dire consequences of Metatron's spell, because Castiel calls him up.
Yeah, Cass calls and he's like, I think I could help these angels. And
I think I could help them.
And, I think I can help the angels, Dean.
Yeah.
And then Dean is like, I know you think you can help it. Literally every time you try to help, you make things worse. Maybe just come here.
Yes. No, by yourself.
Yeah. And Cass is like, but can my friend come? And
it's like,
Dean's
no.
Like, no. He's like, all right, fine. I guess I'll tell her to go her own way.
Yeah. Go your own way.
It's famously what that song is about.
Castiel's determination to help, despite the newfound humanity, introduces this conflict between him and Dean. Hale's then driving in a car. Or no, sorry. Castiel tries to leave.
My friend says you can't come. It's complicated.
Yeah, between him and I. He doesn't realize how much he needs me.
Yeah.
I mean, he's being real sketch, though, too. He just talked her into this whole life, took one phone call. I was like, actually, I got to abandon you now.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a real fucking Castiel move.
Not great at
Castiel's kind of pulling like a sketchy hippie move here.
Yeah, it's true.
And so she knocks him the fuck out.
Yeah, it's good.
And he wakes up in a car next to her.
Yeah.
And he ends up seeing like she's got the angel blade on her lap,
which doesn't actually feel like the power move they present it as. I feel like she could be easily dispatched.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But she reveals her intentions to possess his vessel.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna become one.
Yeah. When to become one.
For like a second, I kept hoping that it wasn't like an angel thing, that he had just unintentionally been like captured by like a crazy lady separate from all of this.
I mean, that would have been kind of funny too,
like,
actually.
Kind of a cool thing. He's like chained up in a garage for the season. They just have no idea what happened because just something totally unrelated has put him in terrible danger.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm an angel, all right.
And you're going to write this book for me.
Yeah.
So Dean then fortifies the hospital room with Enochian symbols to prevent angel entry, creating a temporary sanctuary for Ezekiel and Sam.
Except it's hurting Ezekiel because he's in the middle of all this warding.
Yeah. Despite the defenses, Ezekiel senses the approaching danger, signaling imminent confrontation.
I don't understand why Dean leaves the room here. Like, to draw out the... Because, like, Ezekiel is like, there's angels circling,
he's
looking for vessels, which means it's just their pure angel forms. And the last time we've seen pure angel forms, it like burns out your eyes and melts your brain.
That's why he left, because he was trying to evacuate the hospital.
Oh, he cares about other people.
Yeah, I know. It's a weird concept, but you'll
especially on this show where it's like,
like,
we'll let hell stay open if my brother's alive.
Well, the other thing is, like, there's some Dark Knight situation here where it's like there's all these people in the hospital. He's like, everybody leave, and some nurses and people standing around go, but there's like humans attached to monitors and medication in all of those rooms. You don't see a single hospital bed move. Like theoretically this is like ICU, so these other rooms people are as bad a shape as he is.
I mean,
yeah, but all the nurses just leave.
Yeah, and so they're just left. So I kept thinking that when the angel fight is happening, or they're just like people in like semi comas or like who are paralyzed, just like watching these things happen, going like, I have been abandoned for this fucking guy whose dream friend wants to die.
I mean, fair. Yeah, I do like these angels roughing up Dean and be like, anyone ever tell you punch like an angel? Like I like it. It's good.
I do. Also, Castiel ends up in a confrontation with Hale, and the car crashes.
Yeah. I guess it's the next scene where we see her. But I love the look of like the wrecked body.
Kyle, you must have loved the wrecked body.
The wrecked body is great.
Probably the best makeup I've seen on the show.
Really well
it's
done.
It's really good.
Yeah, I like that a lot. We then find out that Kim, the grief counselor, is actually an angel too.
Fucking knew it.
Yeah. That's why you can't trust counselors.
Here's an ad
from BetterHelp. Really gotta stop doing that.
We're gonna have to cut all these out.
Anyways,
Promo code I'm fine.
stop. Okay. Oh God. Technically, it's not in the ad, so it's fine. I think they're really strict on that. Sam, in his
very
coma-induced state,
pro-therapy.
converses with manifestations of his psyche, debating his will to live versus accepting death, symbolized by his interaction with Bobby and Dean. The appearance of death suddenly in the cabin signifies Sam's crossroad between life and death. Do you think this is actually death?
Yes.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely actually death.
Well, because it made sense when he was like, "I'm coming personally to collect you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
just like in
Stayed
his
in.
subconscious, right? Like we've seen Reapers show
Do that
up
shit,
and
yeah.
you know guide in that. But I do like this thing where it's like when I heard it was you, I came. Like it's
That's
every
what Dean said.
easy. Yeah, every once in a while, you know, like the opportunity to collect a soul such as yours, sort of thing.
I do
It's
love
like,
that shit with the Winchesters.
because it is so epic. I do like it.
I mean, it's always like the thing where when they interact with Metatron in the previous season, they're like, "With the Winchesters," and he's like, "Who?" And you're like, "The fucking Winchesters."
Yeah, we're the Winchester.
It's like, what do you mean?
I do like that moment. Yeah.
Dean then utilizes an angel banishing sigil to expel the attacking angels.
Yeah, it's a good moment where he's like, if you can't go to heaven, what happens when I do this? You're like, oh,
So good.
hell yeah.
Ezekiel's
The
proposal.
angel's got to learn, though, too. Don't make him bleed. He's going to draw the sigil.
That's true. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Ezekiel's proposes to save Sam by way of possession.
Yeah.
Because he's like,
let me inside your brother.
I look at him and I just want inside.
Yeah.
And Ezekiel shows Dean the severity of Sam's condition by allowing him to witness Sam's conversation with death. Dean grapples.
That's where Sam is like, I'll go if you promise I can never come back.
And you're like,
death-
whoo, whoo, whoo,
It's like,
whoo.
fuck yeah. That's the sort of deal with death I would make.
Dean grapples with the realization that Sam is ready to accept death. And Ezekiel insists that to Dean that his possession of Sam would heal them both, after which he promised to leave the body.
Yeah.
Acting as a bridge, Ezekiel allows the real Dean to enter Sam's mind and plead to his brother not to accept death's offer.
Okay, sorry, hang on. Is that what's happening there? Or is it just Ezekiel disguised as
Yes,
Dean
because I was
the whole
confused by
time?
this too.
My reading of it is like, he won't say yes to me, but he'd say yes to you. So so Dean is like, okay, do it. And so Ezekiel like deceives Sam.
Oh,
That's sort of what I
maybe?
read it as too. Yeah.
That it's Ezekiel the whole time, just in the form of Dean.
Here's the reason why I think it's Dean,
Okay.
is because what he says to death. Because he goes like, I would have brought in cronuts, but I didn't know I was coming. And only
Right.
Dean really knows the death's penchant for snack foods.
Sure, that's fair. That's reasonable, I suppose.
Because like so for Kyle, like the previous times we've seen death, he was like eating in 2 minutes to midnight. He ate Chicago style pizza in appointments with Samara. He ate a bacon dog in Meet the New Boss. He ate pickled chips. Death's association with like junk food is referenced constantly. So the cronuts is what.
Now,
sort
would
of
they
made
be
me
the
think.
only ones who know that, or would an angel also have heard through the grapevine?
The angels don't really deal on that
Well,
level.
and Death doesn't make that many personal appearances.
Yeah, we see him way more than we should.
Yeah.
But the theory is that like they're like, I don't know if death even exists. Like he's out
Yeah.
there somewhere. There's a point. I mean, it's such a fucking badass line where Death says that he doesn't know if who came first, him or God, but he'll eventually reap God. Fuck, such a good fucking line.
It's cool as hell.
Uh,
I mean, that's how you know that the people that made Supernatural read like
Sandman,
Gaiman.
yeah.
They
Oh,
read
yeah.
Sandman. They like, yeah.
I know what's up.
I'll put the chairs up and lock up at the end of the
Yes.
universe.
Oh.
You know.
fucking so goddamn good. The fucking the levers of the great machines. Sam ultimately agrees, unaware with what yes means.
Well, yeah, because like the dean is like, is that a yes? Sam's like, yes, and then it's like, technicality. I'm an angel.
Yes. Meanwhile, Castiel awakens from the crashed car and finds Hale's mangled body outside. Hale insists that she can ultimately protect Castiel from the other angels who want him dead for his actions in expelling the other angels from heaven. Castiel refuses her help, and she warns him that she would reveal his location to every angel via angel radio So Castiel has to do
Yeah.
what he must.
Yeah, he kills her.
He fucking-
I like her like crown of broken windshield
Yeah.
glass too.
The-
Like I
the-
think
the-
that's really cool.
The glass is absolutely the most spectacular element. Just like that, the face and the way some falls off, and then others sort of like waggle in there.
Yeah.
They-
It's really, really good effects. Her like mangled body is like that's some top tier supernatural
Yeah.
like effects stuff.
That's what practical's for, you know? Back in the hospital, the aftermath of the supernatural events leaves the hospital in disarray, with staff puzzled by the bizarre occurrences and the Enochian sigils.
Do you think that doctor that earlier said it's in God's hands now is,
I didn't mean...
is regretting having said that?
I like to think that he then turns to Dean and goes, "See, Dean, you knew it all along," and like winks, and then like tries to attack him with an angel knife.
Disappears.
Fun
Phases
fact:
into
I was
the
a
wall.
leprechaun in this episode, and they just forgot to write an ending.
They do exist in the show.
It's me, Dr. Riel.
Oh, Richard, are you telling me a show that's 9 seasons deep called Supernatural has addressed leprechauns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They certainly have two kinds.
Well, yeah, because we also had just like regular Fae folk, and
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
the Robert Picardo episode.
Yes. So good.
I love
Yeah.
that.
That's where they say fight the fairies.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Classic. Ezekiel now inside Sam. Yum.
Love it.
Uh,
A bunch of tumblers instantly
yeah,
activated.
the internet shut down when this episode came
Yeah.
out.
Closed for maintenance, floor wet.
Yeah. Something's gunking up the internet.
Gross.
That's all I wanted.
Sam assures Dean, or Ezekiel inside Sam assures Dean that Sam will recover,
This is what I want to talk about.
but suggests keeping the possession a secret
Yeah.
to avoid Sam's potential rejection.
Yes, because like unlike with demons, you can like revoke your consent from an angel at any time, and it kicks them out of your body. And he's like, but if Sam kicks me out, he'll die. So we can't let him know that I'm in here. But I just want to back up and talk about Jared's acting here, because Jared acting as Sam with Ezekiel inside him, just like walking.
It's
Well,
insane. It is. It looks like he is puffing his like cheeks out and like going like, "Oh,
He looks like he's playing a Men in Black alien in disguise.
Yes.
It's like, is this how I walk among the humans?
This is how I wear a skin suit, correct?
Yeah, yeah. Sugar water.
Yeah.
Sugar. It's too crazy because like Ezekiel wasn't walking like that. Like I just don't know what he's doing.
He's no Misha, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. Misha's a pretty good chameleon.
Dean grapples with the ethical implications of lying to Sam, because all of the seasons.
But this would be the first time I've lied to my brother.
Yeah, about something going on with one of us.
Or him.
Yeah. Fuck. But agrees to the secrecy for his brother's safety. We then cut to a laundromat. Castiel enters a laundromat and goes to clean his bloody clothes, but the sight of a vending machine leads him to borrow someone else's clothing and to pay to nourish himself.
Because all through this episode, he's like, I don't drink. I'm fine. But it's like, no, like you're human now, bud. Or more or less,
Yeah.
you know?
Did you know something about that vending machine?
no."
On the bottom row of the vending machine is a Big Cat candy bar.
Oh, that's fun.
For those who don't know, Big Cat candy bar was also in The Walking Dead.
Oh.
There's your connection, baby.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh.
You know, I love a big cat.
We can't keep bringing jokes just between us.
I mean, that's like half the podcast.
I mean, yeah, fuck.
That's an award-winning combination.
I somehow.
Well, that's really more the other show.
Yeah, I don't know what this one's bringing to the table.
This
Wait,
one
I
is just
thought
like
this is the one that wins all the awards. This is like
No,
the
this is the
classy
one that's got the more listeners.
this one just has more.
Oh.
It's
Oh,
like the
so
po-
like that's the prestige, and this is the one for the people.
Somehow.
that's like, exactly. If anything,
No, that
yeah,
makes
Dr.
more
DC
sense.
is
General
a
pop-
prestige.
Well, because
This is general populist
this show
drivel.
isn't gross. Like this show shouldn't be banned. Like Dr. DC,
Yes.
is like should be against the law.
Also, I would
yes.
say we're relatively well behaved this episode for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Normally, this show is also gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just made a floor wet joke.
Yeah, that's true.
Literally
Nice.
less than 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I did
that
say
was in
gunk
pretty
up the
poor taste.
internet. I don't know if we're good.
Yeah, gross.
We then cut to the actual Impala at night.
Yes.
Sam wakes up in the Impala, unaware of the events that have transpired or Ezekiel's possession, marking a fresh start for his recovery journey.
I love the dialogue in this scene where he's like, so you've been just driving with me in the passenger seat for like 2 days?
Yeah, you know a thing we've always done?
Hey, are you like lying to me about anything going on with me? And he's like, no, what makes you think that?
Good thing after all these seasons, I've gotten great at lying.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Deed's evasion of the truth about Sam's condition in the events at the hospital reflects his protective instincts but foreshadows the potential conflicts from this season.
I mean, yes.
And they now have to deal with the angels.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's now thousands of angels, angry, confused, wandering the earth.
With powers
Yeah.
ish.
Sort of, more or less.
Yeah. And that is the end of this episode. And we'll talk about the way we feel about it after this quick break.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Do you feel like you're tackling 1,000 things at once but never really making any progress? Are you just looking at a calendar of responsibilities and no time for you? Therapy can help you find what matters to you so you could do more of it. You know, one of the things that people think about therapy is that it's only for a time of crisis, and that's not true. It's just to find tools and processes and an approach to help you just live your life in a more healthy and balanced way. If you want to make things just a little bit easier or have someone to talk to, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, so it's much easier to fit into any schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can even switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Learn to make time for what makes you happy with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/ghostfacers today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/ghostfacers. And now back to the show.
And we're back to talk about how we feel. Kyle, you are our guest. Of course, we will start with you. What did you feel about this episode, and what would you rank this episode out of 5, whatever you'd likes?
It's definitely like I've been saying, it's the slightest of the episodes I've seen. I don't know if that's some of it being bogged down by being sort of like so lore heavy that it's kind of playing with having to move a lot of stuff around. It was an interesting one because it was hard to get kind of too emotionally invested in either the plot lines, because the Sam thing about the trying to die, I see where they're going with it. I think like the example that I've been using is like they lean into that card pretty hard, and so they've sort of hit the problem of like, well, death is a little meaningless, and so that like had Sam legit died, maybe that would have been crazy, but also like then the show immediately
It's done. Yeah.
So it becomes this weird, like it's almost like the overarching plot saw all of the sort of like stolen glances that the gay subtext has and was like, I would like some of that.
I mean, yeah,
it's true.
But I think that there is good stuff. I think the Castiel thing with the lady and all that stuff is a very, very fun subplot. I was kind of sad to see it end. Like that was one of those ones where like, oh, this would have been fun to see these two trapped in this car for longer.
Sure, yeah.
So I like that. I think this is maybe this is hard to say because I feel like I just give this every time. It's like I feel like this is maybe the first or second most frustrating I have found Dean.
Sure.
I think because oftentimes in the past, Dean's impulsiveness often results in some sort of like results that like are sort of a net good.
Fair.
Whereas like this one sort of like his results, like he does not, to me as sort of a casual viewer, feel like he is saving Sam for the sake of saving Sam. And it does seem more and more like it's one of those things where like Dean is truly incapable of having relationships, so he has to sort of like desperately tie himself to these things and these ideals because he cannot possibly function outside of society collapsing.
Yeah,
and he
think
kind
it's
of
true.
becomes
This
this
is probably
human
the most
catastrophe around everyone.
It's probably the most selfishly Dean
Yeah.
has acted in one
Yeah.
in one of these, even if he's always reckless or mean or
Especially because
whatever.
he murders people all the time, but the idea that like Sam might die is like an impossible thing. He can't. It's very like he had like it's such a weird thing where it's like there's this weird aboveness they almost carry that like makes them both seem a little bit like tough to deal with, especially like, for me where I have not seen what the angels are up to on the other end of it, like and for me just seeing them as sort of these like lost things creates an interesting concept. And I it is one of the things that I continue to find compelling about Supernatural that I did not, if you had sat me down and said like what do you think are the major elements of this show, I realized it's the describing the elephant. I feel like what I would have ended up describing is a Vampire Diaries.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't know, there's like some kind of horny, but like I don't understand like the how specific and transcendent the horny is. Also, the least horny episode we've watched. That's definitely it loses the 30 points you would get just for signing your name on, where it's like
Except for a man going inside of another man, but yeah.
But
That's hot.
it's also like kind of non-consensual.
Yeah, that's not hot.
And so like that's part of
Correction.
it is like you kind of, if Sam was like I have no choice, climb in me, that's a different set of terms than like unconscious.
Fair.
God, you're describing my dream.
So even that felt kind of odd because also like you don't spend enough time with Ezekiel to really kind of get a sense of anything before he's fucking hopped up and crawled inside.
Yeah, you basically got him. Yeah.
And so I was sort of like even if him and Dean had fought together in the fight scene and then he crawled in, or if he had rescued Dean in the fight scene or something like that, I think it would have been a little bit more to push me towards like, well, this Ezekiel guy seems like he's on the level. But especially having the Hale subplot, you sort of hit this thing of like, well, he seems to have no motivation to help, and so that somehow feels more suspicious but also less suspicious. I am fascinated to see how that kind of subplot evolves over the season, because it's a cool concept. Once you get into it, there's a lot of like set up. This one truly feels like it is setting. It's very much like a Walking Dead season premiere where you get absolutely no content, but you get a ton of things set up that seem promising.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So out of 5,
this also
some
is
things,
kind of in the vein where it's starting to be influenced, because Walking Dead starts in 2010.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
yeah.
this is
Absolutely.
2013, you said?
Yeah.
So the season 2012 season, third season of Walking Dead is when it like flips and goes kind of supernova. And so
Yeah.
this might be the first one after that. So it is interesting that like next season, like, because the next 3 years, I can't imagine that they're not having some kind of situation where they have to deal with
It definitely changes the show. Yeah.
That's interesting. I've never thought about that before, but it's truly being able to track genre television before and after that is such a fascinating thing, because I think like we were in that golden age of TV cycle when that happens, and so I think you kind of don't quite catch how like insidious that takeover was.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, I mean, the show basically takes Walking Dead, like Matt Smith, Doctor Who, and like blends it all together and like creates this like new sort of like combination of like comedy with surrealism and like brutality that like creates its own sort of genre.
I'm thrilled to see how all those things like age, like for real, like, and not in a like, oh, this won't or won't, but like when you watch stuff, you're like, oh, this like looks dumb or weird now, or like this looks kind of cool now, like there's stuff like that. I'm sort of curious like where it shakes out in 20 years.
The other parallel context here, and we talked about it last episode, is that the season finale of last season came out on the same night as the first season finale of Arrow. So we're at the beginning of the Arrowverse on the CW as well, right around now. We're going into season 2 of Arrow, which is when they start introducing more genre-y elements. They bring in super strength. They backdoor pilot The Flash this year. Like, we start really pushing that. And Supernatural from this point on pushes even more meta.
Do they start getting money then, if that's the case? Because I know that brings a huge fucking windfall over to the CW after some
It might. I mean, I know that the president specifically at this time loved Supernatural, and he basically was like, as long as this show wants to exist, I will let them exist forever. And so luckily their numbers basically stay where they're at without very much of a difference. And for like CW, it's pretty good numbers.
CW remains to me one of the most interesting and underrated like media experiments of the last decade.
Oh yeah, they really try to find the combination between like meta culture and like pop culture and try to like shove them together and be like, what if we took the things you like and we're just kind of like, I don't know, what if you fucking did this?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, remember how they made an entire fully functional DC universe of interconnected shows and plot lines that was well liked by many people and looked
And
really
did good.
great. Like,
yeah, it was
and
great.
it's just never acknowledged at all. Like at one single little bit. It is truly kind of. I watched the Flash movie finally. And we can have a conversation about that some other time. But what an interesting thing that is. But it truly drove home for me such a thing of like, it's so crazy because like
Two separate worlds.
this is their Flash that they're in, but there's like a beloved Flash with a great series that has all these nods to other things that this show is trying to. This movie is attempting to do things the TV show did better 5 years ago with a guy who you don't want to punch to death.
Oh, that first season of The Flash is the best version of The Flash next to comics. I mean, you're not going to beat it. Like they did the origin perfect.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy that Supernatural is one of the handful of things that lives a decent chunk in both worlds. This thing comes all the way from those mid 2000s into the height of it gets kind of a Viking funeral because it's so in the midst of like the nerd boom, I feel like.
I mean, it starts in the Smallville era
Yeah.
of the CW, and it lives until basically the end of the Arrowverse.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of crazy.
That is wild.
So what are you giving this out of 5?
I think I gotta give this one. I'm gonna give it a 6, but like a point
Out of 5?
Oh shit! Oh, like I thought it was out of 10. Oh no. I'd say maybe like a 1.5 or a 2 then.
Oh, okay, let's make it a 2. Otherwise, I'm gonna be sick.
Oh no. I mean, I agree that from the context of like not leaping right from the season finale, this season premiere actually doesn't give you much.
Considering what the previous
we don't even see Metatron, we don't even see crap. Like there's a lot of like, considering it was basically a cliffhanger, there's a lot of loose ends in this episode.
Feels like an epilogue to the previous season.
It's a slightly weird one. That being said, I like a lot of the components of it.
Mm-hmm.
I like the sort of like inside Sam's mind kind of thing, the different parts of his consciousness. It's a nice way to bring Bobby in too. Like, and Death. We love Death. Like, Julian Richings is such a good actor. Like,
you know what they say about us? We love Death.
I mean, God, so much. I like Ezekiel. I like that he's sort of blank because you can put all of your doubt and your distrust or whatever onto him, and he's sort of a blank
he's like
slate.
Every stepfather I ever had.
Easy.
He's sort of a himbo, and I'm gonna throw this out. He would be funnier and potentially better if he had a German accent.
He doesn't look like he should.
Just can you imagine if he just periodically Sam has to like briefly talk into German accent and then go back? Like that's a fun show.
Yeah, I mean, only if it was like that real like cartoonish like Bavarian like
Dean, I am
Dean,
concerned.
it's a very big mess in here.
Oh dear God, that you're just taking a line straight out of one of the fucking fanfics.
Oh Dean, it's a really big mess in here.
It's about to be.
No, I mean, I agree, and I don't think this is like one of my favorite season premieres, and I don't think this is as strong as this season can be. But I like it well enough. I'd probably give this like 4 willing deaths.
Jesus Christ. Is there any other kind?
I mean, not for me.
Yeah, I mean, It's funny because I mean it's hard to follow that season finale, and I
Yes.
find that often when they do season finales like that, especially when it's like they tend to struggle with the season premieres in general. I think
Right.
especially when the season finale is so big, because they basically have to go. Now we have to like turn the wheels and get it back going. You know what I mean? But
Totally.
also we don't want to burn too much because it's like us dealing with Metatron is going to take a lot of this season.
Yeah.
And so we've got to like fucking slowly turn the wheels to get back to addressing that. So I feel like we're not going to see Metatron for a little bit anyways.
Yeah, I can't remember. I'm in a weird fog where it's like, as the episodes happen, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah.
But like week to week, like I couldn't tell you what happens next.
Yeah. I will say, admittedly, I hate the Ezekiel thing, and I remember now. I'm like, oh yeah,
I think I remember ultimately being disappointed by it, but I think he's fine in this episode.
sure, yeah. I liked him as a individual a character, but
Yeah.
not as like the Samuel or whatever, whatever they're gonna call them.
Yeah.
Real Gogeta situation here.
Fuck yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. We want to see Sam go 9,000.
Yeah.
But I
Super salmon.
It was fun to watch both of you go like, and that is the extent of the anime. And the guards.
you should see us at a fucking Comic-Con. We're both like, what are these things? They're so scary.
Yeah, cool costume. You're who?
Yeah, there's a lot of chains and wings on you.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's not Goku or Cloud, then I'm not really sure what's going on.
Is this a One Piece?
How many pieces are you?
Yeah. Is this a Bleach? I don't know.
Yeah, you're already like way too deep.
Yeah,
for me.
fuck yeah.
You ever been too excited like for somebody's cosplay and they're sort of like annoyed and then you get mad?
Why did you put so much work into a thing you don't want me to acknowledge?
At a convention and a lady was dressed as cartoon Lydia Dietz and I just went, hell yeah. And she like rolled her eyes as if I was a fool for liking the outfit she was wearing that was a costume.
I mean, to be fair, an eye roll, a classic Lydia Dietz move.
Oh my god. You're right. What a fool I've been this
Also-
whole time, Reed. I gotta go back.
Also, somehow that works for me more.
Easy.
Disinterest is sort of does it.
Yeah, he's about to beetle jizz.
Yeah.
Looks up at my Lydia Dietz big photo and is like, you didn't have to hear that.
But yeah, like I think that what? Tell me.
No, it's fine. I was gonna say if you say beetle jizz 3 times, he comes in your pants.
He like turns into your dick.
But like weird, like
Yeah.
stripy snake things.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
It
That's
pulls
the
back
appeal.
your foreskin like Alec Baldwin's head.
Oh,
Like,
no.
Yes. Worth it. Got there. Larger audience.
Yeah. Come on, I'm almost there. Say it again.
Jesus Christ.
Let me tell you all about the secret Patreon tier that they just started.
It's called Beetlejuice.
After Hours with Beetlejuice. A 2-hour audio show every week.
Let's just I'm gonna jump, you, Senora.
Oh no.
Jump your body.
And it's
right.
been canceled. Somehow they've canceled a Patreon.
Yeah, I did it before it came out. Yeah, I think it's definitely a middling season for sure, or a season premiere.
Right.
I like so much of what the previous episode set up that it feels like this one's like, we gotta remind everybody what happened, and so
It does feel like there's a stronger way to do that though. Like Metatron should at least be in this, right?
Yeah. It's
Also, I'm gonna throw one last thing out that I almost forgot. Sam should look injured at all.
fair.
Fair, but
The problem is the previous
but they're internal injuries.
Yeah,
They're holy injuries.
the ones that he's gonna
Easy,
fill.
easy.
But I think the problem is that the previous season they had to like basically try to kill him by the end of the season.
Yeah.
And so now they have to like come back from that. And I think like they struggle with how do you make him like not die but feel like look better than he did the previous season.
Yeah.
And I think they just missed that mark.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess I'm probably in the same somewhere in between the two of you. I think I'm gonna give this a 3 crown of glass out of 5.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah. But yeah, so Kyle, thank you so much for coming on as always.
It's always one of
You've
my
always got a
favorite
ton
things
of
in the world
stuff.
to do.
It's my absolute favorite. Can you tell people where they can find you online? What do you got going on right now?
Yeah, these days I am at Kyle Clark is Rad on Twitter and Instagram, where I will post artwork and show dates. So you should go follow that. I've got a couple of podcasts. I've got This Is Rad at This Is Rad Pod on Instagram, is where people come on and talk about things they like. I also have a show called Everything is Scary. It's a horror podcast that I do with my dear friend Amy Drolet. If you sit around and go, I wish there was a podcast that just seemingly constantly finds more gonzo Southeast Asian horror films from the
I've
80s
been looking
and
for
now,
that.
then boy howdy do we have the show for you. It's we instead of watching movies that people would want to hear about, we mostly just watch very violent Asian horror films. And we're living our happiest life. If you want to hear two very polite people talk about very horrifying movies,
They are very polite
then
people.
we are the place to check out. I'm very proud of that show. It's a lot of fun. And then I have a label called Radland Records. Our
Yeah,
website
baby.
will be back up when I can afford it. Uh, but if you go out there, we are at Radland Records on Instagram, and you can go there, and we have links to all the places and the peoples that you can get. A lot of great records on there. I'll pick two at random to suggest. We'll go with our first one, Solange Castro's A Journey Self-Discovery. If you like a fun
So good.
Gen X lady comic, that is what that is, and it is for you. Or if you'll go the opposite direction, if you want absolute irredeemable filth, not irredeemable. I love it. It's Matt Cole's Decadence is truly one of my favorite albums I've put out. It's fucking buck wild.
Also, that fucking Solange Castro cover is probably my favorite thing I've ever made.
It's truly one of the great ones. And yeah, I'm got a couple of people I will be producing for records this year, and I'm very excited about that. But none of those are announced yet. And I am working on another. I'm in maintenance mode on stand up, where I'm around, I'm doing stuff, but I'm working on a big old
Just
side
go
project.
and watch your fucking walkthrough of a
Oh yeah, I'll plug
haunt.
that too. I went through a haunt back in Halloween with a steady cam, people following me, and so it's super fun. It's called Haunt Season. It's a 6-minute mini special that is on my YouTube channel. Go search Kyle
So
Clark
fucking
Haunt
funny.
Season. It was super fun. I would love to do more of them. If you're listening to this and you have access to a haunt, let me go film in it. It's a totally self-contained system. I totally like this year just want to. Now that I have a version I can send people, go like, let me do this. There's no assurance issues.
I did send it to like a major Canadian comedy
fucking fly.
producer. So
I'll head out like it's Canada. I'm available. Uh, but yeah, and so check those things out because they are fun, and I am quite proud of how they turned out. Oh, I'll do one more because fuck it. Go check out Looking Back with Jackie Cation. It is another. I've been doing a lot of mini comedy specials because it's kind of fun to experiment with the format, because a filmed play for 1 hour seems like maybe we could do something different than that for comedy specials. And
Love
so we shot this one in an alley. And it is Jackie Cation doing stand-up, performing into the backup camera on my Mazda 3 while I film the screen. It is unhinged. It is super fun. Jackie kills it. There's some great little documentary pieces in it, and those are all going to be. Those are super fun. I directed another project that I'm excited to announce soonish that'll also be in that vein. So yeah, been doing a lot of producing, because when you think comedy's terrible, you got to take it into your own hands and change it.
How did you record the backup camera?
Oh, I didn't. I hardwired her with a body mic, and then she's actually holding an SM58 just because it's weird. It's the same reason I'm holding one in my special, is like you learn how to do stand up holding a mic in front of your mouth. So if you don't have it there, it feels weird. But
Sure.
yeah, I just threw a lav on her. It's movie magic, Richard.
Fucking so good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fuck. Yeah. Do you have a comic to buy right now or no?
You can go to gumroad.com/tales from an analog future. Those are still available. The first issue of that I did with Sean Otwell. And then again, I'm working on getting some more comic stuff out there. Yeah, and book me for your stand-up show if you live on the West Coast. I will probably be able to drive there and I don't know, give you a hug if you
Or
want.
fucking shell out a few fucking dollars and bring them to the East Coast.
Yeah, do it. I'm starting to
you
sell
cheap
artist
East
trading
Coast
cards.
fucks.
You can
You
buy a
fucking
tiny,
East Coast elites.
you can buy a tiny piece of original artwork. I've started doing those artist trading cards. So that's my shows now. Instead of buying or selling comedy products that people want, I will be like, you heard me tell jokes. Now you don't want to hang out with an awkward street artist. How quickly can I turn this from fun night into swap meet?
I mean, fucking a comedy show in general is usually like the thinnest distance between that.
And it's not like I'm like painting like beautiful. You know, it's do you want a little tiny blacklight poster of a smiley face with a joint in its mouth that says "fuck"? Because I am super down to sell you that.
Fuck yeah.
I'm trying to make that a new logo brand because it's how we all feel in the end.
Fuck yeah. All right. Well, if you want to continue to this discussion about Supernatural, you can do so through our Discord.
Yeah, go over to patreon.com/ghostfacers. There's a $1 level and a $5 level. They both give you access to Angel Radio, our amazing community Discord server. And at that higher level, you get access to the Bunker Report, a weekly bonus episode where we talk about all sorts of extra SPN stuff. So,
yeah, and just share a lot of fucking lewd images.
have we?
The general fucking one with some of those Dean images were like very friendly pigeon-esque, I will say.
But we've done that on the Bunker Report?
Well, no, but on the Discord.
Oh yeah, on the Angel Radio. Yeah.
No, yeah. We've yet to bring filth into the
No, we're
Bunker
still
Report.
respectable there for now.
I believe to have a Discord, you have to have a filth channel, which has been a delightful
fair.
discovery.
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you have a note about a past or future episode that you want us to talk about on the show, you can just email us at ghostfacerspodcast@gmail.com or reach out to us through our various social media platforms.
That's right. We're Ghostfacers Pod on Facebook and Instagram.
Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to us every single week. And while you're on there, why don't you give us a 5-star review, and we will read that on a future episode of the show.
Yeah.
If you want to get your gunk up my internet
I was going to
t-shirt.
say the Dean, it's a mess back here.
Yeah.
It's a t-shirt.
Yeah, you can buy that at ghostfacerspodcaststore.com. Also, we've got a ton of other merch on there. And if you like what we do on here, you might like what we do on there on our other podcasts.
That's right. Dr. DC Podcast, our prestige award-winning podcast where we talk about DC Comics and superheroes.
It's just crazy because you
our
say
own.
"come" so much more on that show.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
It's
our own
literally how
personal
I
filth
explain the
channel.
difference to people.
Listen, comedy is gross.
Yeah, somehow Dr. DC has won three goddamn podcast awards.
So, if you
I
like how
needed
we
that
talk
as a
about
term in my life. That is.
if you like how we talk about magic and stuff over here, you might like how we talk about all that kind of stuff over there.
Also, if you find yourself in Toronto at the Toronto Comic Con,
That's right.
March 14th to the 7th or 15th.
Well, no, that's 15th to
the
17th. Yeah.
We will be doing live shows there, and we'll be hanging around the con.
That's right.
If you want to get stuff signed and all that stuff, come down to the Sonar booth, and we'll be down there.
Yeah,
and,
baby.
we'll be doing a couple live shows while we're down there.
Hell
I don't have the
yes.
schedule yet, but it should be out soon. But yeah. Get yourself down to there.
Do it.
Yeah, but don't take our comic books because we won't buy them.
But do it.
But fucking do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Come to the show.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Say goodbye, Kyle.
Goodbye, Kyle.
Say goodbye, bitch.
Jerk.